Hello everyone and welcome to the first Italian Grand Prix of the season here. We have an interesting title fight on our hands coming into this with David and Michael separated by 3 points after Saudi Arabia, dropping down to 19 points there to Liam. And then 4th, 5th, and 6th are separated by just 8 points. And then obviously the drop-offs there for the rest of the grid here. And I mean, the battle is raging on at the moment. If we look at the constructors, Mercedes have a 13-point lead to Ferrari. Ferrari is only 6 ahead of McLaren, and Red Bull v Carbon Kick are nowhere to be seen. But that's going to all change as we have Chris, who has rejoined the grid for IMOLA, only in second as Michael is in first. We have Elijah and Caden in P3 and 4. Nate is still here in P5. Dylan, Liam, and Austin round out the back 3 in P6, 7, and 8. This is going to be an interesting Italian Grand Prix. And it is lights out and away we go. Every driver actually makes it off the line this time. Michael gets a better start than Chris, staying ahead, but Chris is lining him right behind him. We can see the on-cam footage here of Elijah here, who is chasing Caden down for 3rd. And that is a great move around on the inside there to take P3. Michael was leading the race.
Didn't look like he was going to go for it originally, but the gap just opened up for him.
I mean, he's now up to 8/10 high, and he goes off the track, giving Chris the advantage here. He gets ahead round on the apex. They tap a little bit. Michael goes a little bit out wide. Elijah's right behind him here. He's not that far behind. He may be able to make a move.
Just Michael seems to be going down the inside here, but cannot make it stick.
I mean, Elijah is just waiting patiently behind him here, waiting for an opportunity to snatch second place. This is already a better start that he's had in the past 2 Grand Prix, and he is showing the pace that he has. Looking back as well, we see Nate not too far behind. We see Caden and Dylan fairly close to each other. The only person who's starting to go away is Austin, but everyone is close to each other within a second still. We have never seen this before in a Grand Prix. Coming down this line, Michael won't have DRS on the straight, but he will have the slipstream. He will have the advantage as Nate goes into 3rd place around Elijah, but I don't expect that to last for very long as Elijah may get another move around the outside. Michael goes on the inside and collides with Chris as he takes the lead of the race. I don't know if Chris will definitely retaliate from that. I don't expect him to be just standing behind. We know his pace from Australia here. This is going to be an interesting fight.
The top 4 are all very close together still, just as Nate seems to be falling out of DRS.
And Caden, who is in 2nd place in Bahrain, is staying in 5th. He's not really gaining much time. I mean, he has a little bit of time gain on Elijah here, but it is not enough to really be dangerous, especially around this sector of the track where you cannot overtake. And I mean, if we look as well, Dylan, Liam, and Austin now are starting to drop back from the rest of the field, especially Nate now is starting to drop back from the top 2. And I mean, as we come up here, Chris is going to get DRS.
As if Elijah's getting DRS on Nate as well.
This could be 2 overtakes here on this main straight. Caden will have DRS on Elijah, but I don't think it'll be enough for a move. See Chris going along the inside there, overtaking, getting back into the lead of the race here. Michael is already caught up here right next to him, and they go side by side down to this next turn here as Michael's going to go onto the inside, takes the lead, and Chris just bodies him off, pushes him off the track, and he's going to lose a lot of time, but not enough. He's still going to be right behind him within the DRS range.
Looks as if the back may... No, they fall back. Michael made that out very quickly.
He's now right behind him, sliding off the track again. He is destroying his tires here. I do not expect him to last much longer on these tires. I mean, he's gone off the track so many times. He's struggling in this dirty air. He's pushing these mediums as hard as he possibly can to keep up with Chris's sheer pace. You see the rest of the grid now starting to drop back, starting to separate and create those gaps that we know that they have, that they usually create in these Grand Prix. got a great exit too, so he's gonna get the DRS. He's within a tenth. He's trying to find the spot. They make a little bit of contact here as he now goes side by side towards turn 1. But I mean, Chris cannot do anything with the DRS and ERS on that main straight, so he's going to lose that position there.
Looks to be gaining the time back very quickly, though. Could we see a move on this next straight?
I mean, around here, it's really hard to overtake around this section. You kind of just have to follow till that main straight. And I mean, obviously with the slipstream and stuff, you are going to be gaining a lot of time. I mean, they're slowly closing in here. Nico's trying his best to keep him behind. So you're going... Is he going to try and make the lunge into this turn? As Chris does, pushes Michael off track again, but he gets ahead. And with the DRS too, that will be it for the title, for the first place fight, at least for a little bit. But Michael's going to have to try and gain some time on them here.
Still seems to be getting the slipstream even with that DRS.
Goes off the track a little bit. He's sliding now. He's really trying to push the car as much as possible.
So, that gap between second and third has dropped down to over 3 seconds. Third to fourth, 1.5, but it looks like we could see a battle for fourth with Caden making some time on Nate.
I mean, here Michael's making a lot of time. That exit was really helpful for him, but I think he's trying to conserve his battery here, getting really close to him as he goes far off the track. And I mean, he's going to lose a lot of time there, and Elijah's even starting to close in on him here. He's now 2 seconds behind the leader, and that may have ruined his chances at battling for first again.
Michael is just struggling today to stay on the track limits.
I mean, he's sliding really far. I mean, these tires have to be dead as Elijah's closing the gap now. And if we saw that, Caden did make his way up into fourth, so he's slowly bringing up, like going up in these positions here. I mean, we've seen how strong his form is. Not good qualifying, though. So we could see him return to the top 3 if he starts closing this gap.
As Michael passes you, you can just see the gravel on the underside of his car as he loses more and more time to Elijah per lap.
I mean, we even see that his underbody is just completely battered from the battling with Chris, from him going off the track. This car is not in a good state, and the fact he's still able to drive it around is quite impressive. But Elijah still has the pace to catch up to him and overtake him here. As Dylan passes Liam for 7th place there. See Caden not too far behind, but still fairly far, 2.6 seconds.
Seems like the bottom 3 of this race are just so far behind everyone else, with Dylan 22 seconds behind and Austin 14.
I mean, if we look on the other side, we see that Chris is starting to increase that gap here, and as Michael slides really far and Elijah takes that 2nd place position, that was a horrible slide. I don't think I've ever seen something so slide that bad before.
Which is now Caden seems to have a run on Michael.
Michael's going to have to make up this time, but with his tires being this dead here, I don't know if he's going to. He's even sliding out of that turn, a turn that I never thought I'd see someone slide in. before, but he's still trying to push the car as hard as he can. He knows he has to give everything, but the more he gives, the more his tires will wear out.
We can see the effects of that already.
I mean, he's already made up the time. He's up to 4/10. He's right next to Elijah here. Is he going to go for a move? Is he going to play patient here? He's playing patient. He's going to try and potentially get a run. Maybe down the straight here as he slides a little bit here, and I think that just ruined his chances of trying to make a move. And he's still getting the time, even with DRS. DRS is super important and gives you the speed you need here, but Elijah plays perfect defense there, keeping him out and holding them back.
He does not want to give this position up.
And I mean, the longer he defends too, the more Michael's tires will be destroyed from this. And his tires already seem to be in a pretty bad state.
We do see Michael's trailing behind Elijah here. He's bringing Caden closer and giving him a chance to make an overtake as well.
Looks like Michael may try a move here, though. He's going there on the outside, and I mean, Elijah just plays that perfectly there. Michael has to go off. Did not have any room there. He would have lost a lot of time. But as long as he doesn't slide out of this corner, he will get DRS here. And only 6/10 behind. Now 5/10, 3/10. Looks like he's going to get this move done. He has to recharge here.
He's got to.
Almost has no battery. Using the rest of it, but he just flies by there. Now Elijah has to recharge here. This is slowly bringing Caden into this fight. Well, they get really close there. Michael has to Michael has to slow down because of his tires, and because Elijah has the fresh tires, he wants to just go. We're gonna have to see here. Coming down to this next turn.
Michael is breaking early.
They make contact, and Michael slides off the track there. You can look back here on Elijah's cam. You can see
Michael is just breaking so early.
We can see Michael sliding a little bit here, which almost gives Elijah the run. He does think about it, but he decides he's going to play it patient, wait for another opportunity. I mean, as Michael breaks early here, Elijah almost has no time to react. That was
tragic for the two of them.
As you watch Elijah here, he does give that position back. But it was not.
Does not have the exit he needs.
But it was not to Michael. It was to Caden here, as Michael had not gotten back on the track yet. But they both pit. Michael just has to change his tires, while Elijah does have to change for his wing, I believe.
His wing did not get changed though.
I fully expected his wing to be changed.
Looking at that, look at that end plate. The crew did not change his wing.
Michael now has a lot of time to make up. He has new mediums and already tapping the grass a little bit there, but Chris has checked out. And I mean, here we can look back. We can look back here at Elijah, and we can kind of see him struggling here a little bit. I mean, that wing being broken is definitely hurting him here. You can see it there on the, that's his right wing there. He's not able to turn as well, but hopefully these new tires will help him out.
Why didn't the pit crew change his wing? It's so strange.
Saw Michael go off into the grass there. And I mean, if you think back though to Chris, he is just checked out 10 seconds ahead of the rest of the grid, which and Caden is 27 seconds ahead of Elijah here. Oh, Michael is going to get a good run, though, onto Elijah. I don't think Elijah will be able to stop this. Trying to fake a move there. He goes onto the inside. As a safety car comes out, we saw that there in the background. Michael passes Elijah right when the safety car comes out. And that is going to stall the grid for a little bit here. Looks like
Lucky, right when that flag went out, Michael got passed.
Looks like Austin DNF2 right when this happened, so Michael's falling really close to Caden. I'm really curious to understand what the communication with Ferrari is right now.
Seems as Austin just lost it in the corners.
Sadly, with no camera on, also, we do not know what happened, but all we do know is that he did, in fact, DNF, and it was not another driver that caused it.
Because we'll give the further back drivers like Liam and Dylan a chance to catch up to the rest of the grid. You can see how far behind they are.
I mean, this is also giving a chance for everyone just to catch up to the leader. Chris, who is 13 seconds ahead, I mean, that's a gap that would be really hard to bring down, especially in this at this part where we've already seen everyone's pure pace. We know Chris is just faster, so
Elijah again does not change that wing.
I mean, now we can see the time going now, which means Chris is behind the safety car. The safety car is out, so we're going to have a couple laps until the rest of the field rejoins. There we go. We see.
So if Liam made a pit stop, he's almost an entire lap down.
We can see now everyone here. Elijah's now joining the pack. These four, I mean, even though Chris was checked out 13 seconds ahead, these four were so far ahead of the rest of the grid. I mean, Liam is a minute 13 behind 6th place, let alone the lead. And I mean, 6th is still 14 seconds behind 5th. So it's they're pretty big gaps here. And we see the lapped car, I believe that is. Who's gonna have to... Yeah, we see Liam there in the back. He's gonna have to unlap himself here, as he is a lapped car. And we also see Nate. And Dylan is still 8 seconds back from the rest of the grid here, but once he comes in, the safety car should end.
Oh, there's contact in the back.
Who's the contact between?
Seems as if Nate forgot to brake when coming up behind Elijah, and he had to take evasive action, which he swerved into Liam because of. Nate seems to be scaring everybody on the safety car.
And I mean, we see now Dylan has rejoined. I'm still really confused. It seems like Michael's been attacking almost the other Ferrari driver. And I wonder if he hit him here, because if you look, Michael no longer has a piece of his front wing. I wonder if him and the Ferrari in front of him had collided. Which is weird. I want to know why on a safety car he's getting just so close. Both him and Elijah have broken front wings here.
Seems like Liam still has not been permitted to lap the safety car.
But I believe the safety car is going to be in this lap here. You see everyone closing in. Chris is doing a good job at making the restart here. He's going to go around this corner as the Ferraris take off. One of them just does not accelerate. Because
Bad exit from the Ferraris.
Caden did not accelerate before and because Michael overtook him before the yellow flag, he had to give that position back, which messed up his race restart here. And both the Ferraris go off. One of them spins as the other one had to go off the track to avoid him here. But now he has to give those position backs again. Michael, who's just trying to get in the second to chase down Chris for the win of the race, is getting screwed over.
There's contact between Nate and Elijah as Nate seemed to turn in on him as if he wasn't there. Elijah's tumbling down the order now.
Michael had to give up the position, actually letting the his third place position go to Nate as he had to give his position back to Caden once again because of his fail at the restart. He's following Nate
Steve,
here.
we couldn't quite see it there in the back, but it looked as if Nate just turned in on him completely. Elijah spun into the barrier. Just hopefully his car is okay.
And I mean, Chris is once again checked out from the failed restart from the Ferraris. I mean, this was a huge disaster from them too. Don't know what Michael's going to try here, if he's going to try and go on the inside, make a dive bomb. As he does, he goes a bit late though, taps the gravel, tries to go around the outside and taps the gravel again, sliding, which is going to give his position up to Dylan, I think, dropping as far as 5th. Dylan does get a run onto him. But no, he closes that off, but Dylan goes around onto the inside and makes that overtake. Michael switches onto the inside, tries to make that move, decides it's not worth it.
See now, as Chris stays in the lead, the previous second and third place of his race are now in 5th and 6th. Just disastrous starts for those two.
He goes off again. That wing is really hurting Michael now, and I'm guessing it's hurting Elijah too, as they both seem to be going off the track, just like Elijah was earlier. Michael tries to go on the inside this time. Scares Dylan as he slides, taps Michael as he spins out. But Dylan has fallen down the order, back down to 6th. Michael is now chasing Nate. He needs to get this time back, and then he has to make up another 5 seconds, or sorry, 3 seconds to Caden, and then another 5 to Chris here. We saw Nate slide a little bit, which is going to give Michael a good exit here. Better than Nate's. Nate's leaving a little bit.
You see Elijah is now 5 seconds on Dylan, but he's just not gaining a time on the front floor.
Switches from the outside to the inside as Nate slides a little bit there. But Michael makes the move back into P3. Elijah's back into P5. 10 seconds to gain on Nate. But from the pace we've seen from him previously, I think he should be able to make that up. See, Michael has 3.7 seconds to make up to Caden here. And look here at Elijah. He had a really good race start going from P4 to P3. He had an unlucky collision with Michael that dropped him down a little bit, and that race start was extremely unlucky. Nate spinning him out there, dropping him down to P6. But he's slowly making his way. He definitely has one of the better paces out of everyone in this grid right now. So to say he won't make it to P4 would be quite disrespectful.
It looks as if the Ferraris and starting to check out from Nate. And only around 2 laps, they're getting almost 3 seconds on him.
Elijah slides off there a little bit, but that is going to hurt the time that he has gained. Loses almost a second there. So I believe Nate has gone into the pits. or maybe one of the lap cars have, as we heard him. About halfway through this race now on lap 17 of 32. And I believe that Chris is checked out once again. Now 6 seconds ahead of the Ferrari in second place. And I mean, he's going to just keep gaining, like growing that lead. As no one was able to touch him on that race restart, which was when he was most vulnerable once again.
As I've seen with the last few races, we just end up with these crazy gaps between all the drivers.
Especially first to second. I mean, we have not seen a race where first and second place are even within like that 10-second mark, and still half the race left to go. Him growing this gap by about a second a lap, I could expect this gap to be 20-30 seconds by the end of the race.
It's just not Michael's weekend, as it looks like he's losing time on Caden. It's tragic for the man who started from first or second, it was, front row.
From first place down to third. Elijah from fourth to fifth. Dylan from fifth to sixth. Sorry, he did actually stay in sixth. It was Nate who went from actually fifth to fourth. But Caden going from third to second, and Chris going from second to first. They have to be pretty happy with those weekends so far, gaining even more points, as the back three have actually stayed the exact same. The top five have all moved around at least one spot. See Elijah here now dropping the gap to 3.6 compared to the 8.5 just like a lap or so ago. He's starting to adapt to that broken wing, and he's starting to make time up where he can. There, we saw that.
Because Nate is now 8 seconds behind third.
We saw that drop down by a second just from that one corner. I wonder what's going on with Nate, if maybe he slid a little bit. It's dropping even farther now, down to 4 seconds. Wondering if he had a little... I wonder if he had a slide, maybe. I mean, the gap between Caden and Michael is still around that 3 to 3.5 second mark. We can look at the restart here at the start of the race. I had a great start there, a lot better than Chris. You knew he was able to cover him off. You see all those position changes at the start of the race. One of the longest straights before the first turn. I mean, he just checks out there. Sadly, the slide. We can look here at Elijah, who actually did start in P3, slid a little bit, lost third place to Caden, and then quickly overtook him again for his third place.
Completely outbreak them.
You can see here Michael now. Only 3.2, still with that broken front wing. He's gonna have to fix it. I mean, we could see Caden now. He's just trying to bring it home for his second place finish. The first time he will outperform his teammate and finish higher than him out of all 4 races that we've done so far.
We see Nate just dropping behind for Michael, who's very close towards the start of the race, but now it's just almost 12 seconds behind.
I mean, Elijah dropped that gap down to 3.6. I totally expect him to go back up into 4th place after this.
Elijah made a mistake as he just lost nearly a second.
I mean, as we have now seen, almost every single driver pairing besides the kick and, or besides the Red Bull pairing here, we've seen every single pairing. I have to say, the Ferrari duo does seem to be fairly strong here. Whenever they're together, they're constantly in the top 3. I mean, if they can stay that consistent, they should have an easy constructors victory here. As we know, at least one McLaren and one Mercedes driver is normally in the back 5. An improvement would like them getting better would definitely help out their teams, but with how consistent so far they've been, it looks like they're going to go for the double pit here. Wondering if it's going to be the smart move. Mike has to wait just behind him. That was almost perfectly executed, but sadly it's not.
He has to change his wing. He's going to lose a lot of time here.
He loses that time to Elijah. And Elijah's up into P2, but 30 seconds behind Chris. Now that there is a gap. We saw Caden just get out of the pits there right before Michael. Michael's going to have maybe a 10 to 15 second gap to make up. 12 seconds. He's on these hards. You can already tell he's pushing. Actually not putting it in the gravel or the grass for once out of those first couple turns. Does put it in there though. He just cannot seem to keep it on track.
You can see that inside of the square.
See Elijah also has a battered car too. He's gonna have to go in for the pits here.
No, he does.
He's also gonna have to change this front wing, so we're gonna see. As Caden makes up that time again, is Michael going to be able to get ahead here? We see him there, just on the outside. We heard him fly by as he gets up into P3. As this is Michael's home race, him being down in P3 is not what you would want to see to be in the home race here. He's already made up that gap down to 9.4. Or down to 9.
It seems Elijah cut Nate in the pit stop.
It was a very clean here. Nate still has 10 seconds to make up. I don't think we'll be seeing him in the top 4 though anytime soon.
Seen with Nate the last 2 races, he always seems to have an amazing start and then drops back down to 5th or 6th by the end.
Seems the V-car just has a really fast pacing start, but their actual pace at the middle to near end of the race really tanks once tire wear becomes a play. But Michael dropping a 12-second gap down to 7 in just 1 or 2 laps here. That's the pace we need to see from I mean, as it stands, he will be the new championship leader just because David is not here today. He was not able to show up to this race. Michael needs to take advantage, get second, or hope that Chris spins out for him to get maybe even a P1 to gain as much points as he can on him. Yeah, the gap is now.
I see the gap to last is just shocking. Liam is a minute 50 just from 6th place. I think he might be lapped twice here.
I mean, if we see this gap now is already below the 6-second mark from the 12 just 2 laps ago. You're seeing Michael push this car extremely hard trying to get that second place. But we know he has at least one 3-second penalty from corner cutting. So he'd have to make up another 3 seconds after overtaking Caden.
He only has 8 laps to do so. It might just not be possible.
I mean, he's increasing that gap to Elijah here. Now 17 seconds. And he's closing the gap to Caden is now just 5. It's actually about to drop just below 5 here. As he is giving qualifying lap after qualifying lap. Still no, they aren't able to drop the distance to Chris. As Chris now has a 15-second gap to Caden, which Michael should not be able to make up in time. I mean, Dylan is only 2.8 seconds behind Nate. Now 2.9, but he may be able to make that up and try and get a 5th place finish here. As it seems Caden is dumping here, and the bottom of Michael's car is just scraping.
See the gap starting to form even more now, with 15 from first to second, 19 from third to fourth, 11 from fourth to fifth, and 2 minutes from sixth to seventh.
That 2-minute gap is astounding. I don't think I've ever seen a gap so large in past maybe 15, 20 years. The gap though to between Nate and Dylan now is just 1.6, as we can now see Caden, as he's only 3.9, 3.8. Besides a little bit there. Losing a lot of time. As Dylan does make the overtake around Nate.
Seems like Nate's pace is just falling off towards this last stint.
If we look at Elijah now, though, 20 seconds behind Michael, who's only in 3rd. And if we add up all those times, I mean, Chris is 42 seconds ahead of 4th place. Those are the gaps that we're used to seeing now. They just came up a little bit later in the race.
Your mother is dead.
As Nate re-overtakes Dylan for 5th place. Seems to be a little battle going on there.
Seems like each of them keep making mistakes as we see 2-second gaps just diminish in no time.
Seems to be that they may be on the main straight there. Now the gap once again has dropped below that 4-second mark between Caden and Michael. They seem to be now more on even pace as Michael has chewed through his tires once again, trying to drop that 12-second gap down. Looks like Caden makes a lot of time here on this main straight. He made almost 3/10. Now he's made up to 5/10 there on that main straight. I wonder if he's dumping his battery there while Michael's using his battery in other spots.
This Caden's setup is just built for straight line speed as well, while Michael's is not.
Michael has gained a lot of time randomly. I wonder if Caden has maybe slid a little bit here, going from 4.4 to 3.4. On another note, Dylan has now made a 6-second gap onto Nate, so I think he's going to keep that 5th place finish. As 20 seconds still separates Michael and Elijah. 21 seconds now separates Caden and Chris. .5 second gap now between Caden and Michael. If Michael can keep up this speed and pace for another couple laps, he should have a run on him down this main straight. I mean, Caden just makes up so much time there on that main straight. It is extremely impressive how different their setups are for being both on Ferrari.
As you can see, these corners, Michael just gains tenths and tenths of time.
Definitely lower arrow. One more slip from Caden, which is what I believe he's been doing. He's been sliding a little bit, which is, yeah, we saw him there go right there out of the gravel. Those little slides is giving Michael the opportunity to catch up. He has not been sliding. He has been pushing his car as hard as he can to try and catch up to that second place. As we see Liam once again about to get lapped for the second time by second and third place. Michael's now only 5 tenths behind Caden here. As he goes off into the gravel here, Michael has a great run. Now with DRS2 and battery. Caden is defending fairly well though, keeping it there in the middle of the track. Michael has to choose whether he wants to go on the outside or the inside. Does a switch like normal, and he makes that move. Now with Nate, who is also getting lapped, we see him now too. As the back six have been lapped, the back three have been lapped at least twice. Nate with a...
You can see Liam in front of Nate. He's almost about to be lapped 2 times by up to 6th place.
And I mean, Nate with a 41-second gap to Dylan. That he dropped off really far. He must have pitted again for new tires, but now Michael has to gain 3 seconds onto Caden here in 3 laps. He has to gain that time to keep his second place, otherwise he will lose it due to his 3-second penalty of corner cutting. Ferrari's getting a P2 and P3, this being one of Michael's home races in Italy. A Ferrari being on the top step would have been an incredible moment, but sadly, with a 24-second gap to Chris, I do not think it'll happen today.
Caden with 2 laps left is still within 1.8 seconds. He does have a hope.
And
he loses all of it on the straight here.
He went off on the back of the track as we saw over there. He just went off, lost all that time. Michael just has to bring this car home now with that 3.8 second, and he will get his second place, which will help him in the championships as he is, I believe, 6 points behind. He will now go 15 points ahead of David coming out of this race. And I mean, he's even slowly chipping away at Chris, but with only 2 laps left after this, it's not possible. The gap just keeps rising between those 2 Ferraris.
You can see almost a 30-second gap between everybody except for the Ferraris.
They have had similar pace almost all race. Michael's tire wear has definitely held him back. His collision with Elijah and him having that messed up safety car restart due to his teammate not getting off the line well has really... Oh, and he slides off and he loses all of that time here. He now drops below that 3-second mark. And I mean, I would really like to take another look though at that slide that he had there. as he's now down to 1.8 seconds. Here we can see the slide again. As he's coming in, he just clips that curb and he just slides off completely, losing all of that time down to 1.6 seconds, 1.8.
Caden has a real hope to get his second place now.
I mean, Michael is gaining that time back, though. He's just throwing this car at every single curb he possibly can to try and gain this time back. Yeah, just 1.6 seconds as Michael even taps the grass there a little bit. It's now a 30-second gap between first and second there. One of the largest gaps we've seen between first and second.
Seems as if Chris will lap almost the entire grid.
Maybe slides even a little bit more
Everybody
there.
gets the four.
I'm up 32 to 32. Chris does in fact win the Italian Grand Prix as Michael lets Caden by for that second place. Doesn't want him to fight or stay behind him in case if he slides again. Giving him
Great race from this crew.
Giving him that second place. And with the Ferraris in a P2, P3, it's a great result, but it was not one Michael was looking for. I mean, he'll only be a little bit ahead here as we look at the podiums here. We see Chris on the top step. Once again, we see the Ferraris in P2 and P3. I mean, it was a dominant victory. We can look at the standings now. Michael is 12 points ahead of David. Chris goes back into third place with his second win of the season there. Still 11 points behind David, but if he joins again at the next race, I think he'll start to take the lead there. We have Elijah 5 points behind in fourth. Very impressive. Liam only 2 points behind him, and then it drops off. Ferrari, though, take a 10-point lead to Mercedes. They have a fairly large lead as well to McLaren, and Red Bull is still nowhere near the top three, but also nowhere near the bottom three, so they're kind of in a no man's land. But that is all for the Italian Grand Prix. See you all next week.